Greetings, Japan fans. Today's show, we're going to be looking at the study of leadership. Maishu, arigatou gozaimasu. And welcome back to the 10th year of the Leadership Japan series. And I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story, Dale Carnegie Tokyo franchise owner, president of Dale Carnegie Tokyo Training, and the 3-time best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery, Japan Business Mastery, and Japan Presentations Mastery. And my book in Japanese is called Zaegyo. Plus, my new book is be out shortly called Stop Wasting Money on Training. We are broadcasting around the world from Minato-ku, the center of Tokyo, the leadership capital of Japan. This podcast brings insights, examples, and experience about leading in Japan, and trust me, it is different here. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with your family, friends, and colleagues. We are not being sponsored by Libsyn, but we value your privacy, which is why we have our podcast hosted by Libsyn, who, unlike many other podcast hosts, have a strict policy that does not allow access to your private information by anyone. Here is our daily podcast lineup on iTunes. Mondays, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. Tuesdays, the Presentations Japan series. Every second Tuesday, the Business Tatsujin no Oshie Show. Wednesdays, the Sales Japan series. Thursdays, the Leadership Japan series. And every second Thursday, the Business Pro Podcast Show. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show. And Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews. Before we get going, today's handy Japanese phrase is Suzuki-san no otaku desu ka? Suzuki-san no otaku desu ka? Suzuki-san no otaku desu ka? Remember, this is informal Japanese. We're asking, is this Suzuki-san's place? Is it Suzuki-san's house? Is this Suzuki-san's residence? Suzuki-san no otaku desu ka? Suzuki-san no otaku desu ka? Suzuki-san no otaku desu ka? Is this Suzuki-san's house here? Is this his address? Suzuki-san no otaku desu ka? Suzuki-san no otaku desu ka? Suzuki-san no otaku desu ka? This is episode number 479. And today we're talking about when the leadership student is ready, the teacher appears. We're all exposed to leadership lessons throughout our lives, yet for most of the time, we are unaware of them. When we were children, we didn't think about what it meant to be a leader. Adults are all seen as leaders, and they seem to be unassailable authority figures whom we had to obey. In sports, maybe we were selected as the captain of the team, or maybe we weren't, but either way, we didn't think too much about what it meant to be a successful leader. At university, we might have taken on a leadership role in one of the varsity clubs, but we weren't necessarily thinking about the intricacies of leadership. We just went with what we had at that point. The exception, though, were those students who had decided they wanted a life in politics, and so they were very keen to exert their leadership muscles to pad out their resume for future requirements. When we hit the workforce, we entered a hierarchical world of different pay levels and designated leadership positions. As new entrants, we may have been given some basic training, but we certainly were not given leadership training, as that was thought to be too early in the piece. After toiling long and hard, we start to accumulate successes and attract greater responsibilities. At some point, we'll be given a supervisory role over a project or a small team, and then perhaps responsibility for our section. At this point, we may not receive any leadership training, even though we are now being held responsible for leading the team. We're expected to work it out for ourselves based on self-study and combing back through our lives, for example, of people who are in leadership positions. They would include family members, teachers, sports coaches, classmates, bosses, etc. We probably absorbed these influences without thought, and they've planted some assumptions in our mind about what a leader is and what a leader does. We will have cobbled together a disparate, idiosyncratic form of leadership. It won't have a formal structure, and it will be missing bits all over the place. About this time, we'll start to realize that actually, there's a lot more to this leadership thing than we imagined. Here is the big dividing line. Some leaders will just keep going with their trial and error, organic approach to leadership. They don't seek a teacher to help them learn what they are missing or to uncover the best practices available for leaders. Often, their firms are also unwilling to invest in them, and they are just expected to work it out for themselves. Find out more. We come back from the break. Our show today is brought to you by our public programs, but we also do custom-made in-house classes. Now, we do them in our super safe classroom, we do them live online, and we do them in Japanese, and we do them in English. Our show today is being brought to you by, on the 6th of September, doing Confident English. This is for the Japanese speakers in the company. They are expected to speak English, but they themselves are not confident. They worry if they get up in the room in the meeting and they are on a Zoom call and they say things, people are going to judge them, they're going to lose face, it's going to be embarrassing, humiliating, because they're not confident enough in English. So we fix that. We don't have to teach them grammar. They have enough grammar. We don't have to teach them vocabulary. They have enough vocabulary. We teach them how to use the grammar and the vocabulary to communicate with confidence. Also on the 6th of September, we're doing reviews of our next programs. On the 9th of September, we're doing leadership training for managers. Now, very few leaders are trained in Japan. Very, very few. Most people are just trying to work it out as they go along. So there's a big gap, They get to become managers. Yeah, okay, maybe they can manage. But leaders, that's a different kettle of fish. And they are not being trained for that. They're not being prepared for that. But the companies need them to be like that. That's why a program like leadership training for managers is perfect for Japan, because it fills in a lot of the blanks, a lot of the gaps that people get when they come up through their business career. They just don't know a lot of this stuff, how to handle mistakes, how to delegate, how to plan, how to innovate, how to do the performance reviews, how to do the coaching, how to do the communication. They just don't know. So this is the time, put them on the course, to help them, get them fully tuned up and become really, really powerful leaders for the organization. Our website is www.dale, D-A-L-E hyphen Carnegie, C-A-R-N-E-G-I-E .co.jp. You can email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. If you like learning by watching videos, then we have over 1,000 for you there at Tokyo, Japan, Dale Carnegie TV on YouTube. Get my best-selling books, Japan Sales Mastery, the Bible for selling in Japan, and Japan Business Mastery, as well as my new book, Japan Presentations Mastery. We release 3 TV shows every week on YouTube. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, that's a premier business show in Japan, comes out Mondays. Fridays we have Japan Business Mastery Show. Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews, where I interview leaders in Japan from SMEs all the way up to the corporate captains of industry on one topic, leading in Japan. Every second Thursday, we release the Business Pro Television Show. Don't forget, you can email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Welcome back. Other leaders will start looking for information on leading, reading books, watching videos, listening to podcasts, etc. The amazing thing about modern business today is that there is an army of people out there putting up immense amounts of information for free on the basis of their content marketing approach. I'm a member of that content creator army too, punching out 6 podcasts a week on Apple Podcasts, publishing articles on Forbes and on Medium, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. I've written books on business and selling in Japan. I'm currently writing one on leading in Japan. My point is there is a tremendous amount of free stuff available for any aspirant leader to absorb. Basically, there's no excuse, absolutely no excuse for anyone to be thrashing around trying to work it out by themselves. Business is too complex today for that, and everyone in a leadership position has to become a student of leadership. Ideally, the company will organize training for you, or they will give you the money to go source it for yourself. I've been sent to Harvard, Stanford, and INSEAD business schools for expensive executive courses, and all were great experiences for flying the plane at 30,000 feet. What I found, though, is you also need practical, immediately implementable, down-to-earth, in the mud and the blood leadership training as well. How do you get innovation, communicate, plan, handle mistakes, delegate, make decisions, do performance reviews, coach, and develop your people? These are the nuts and bolts of leadership on a daily basis, and we will have picked up parts of these from just observing what our bosses and other leaders do. It is so much better, though, to start studying about how to lead, to take courses which focus on the nuts and bolts aspects of the job. Practical leadership courses are good because they are low on theory and high on applicability to your daily reality. I found the varsity case studies interesting, but often also difficult to apply in my daily reality. Practical leadership courses will spend more time on providing broad structures and have you fill in the blanks as you create your own case studies based on the reality you are facing. Two people from the same firm in the same industry will come up with entirely different content because each is addressing their particular reality. The practical classes will also produce a lot of ideas and insights sourced from your classmates as you draw on their experiences, both good and bad. Thank you for joining the Leadership Japan series. If you found the program useful, then share it with your family, friends, and colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast. Take what you found valuable, immediately put into action, because idea application is what makes winners winners. Be one of them. Remember, I'm your corporate coaching and training guy in your corner, committed to your success here in Nippon.